everyone, it's an influx of investors who did deal in Detroit. The Detroit market in real estate, as far as investing goes, it's affordable, and the cost are low, like to renovate. So a lot of them, a lot of them flock to this to this market, because it's uh higher rates of return on their investment.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest is a Michigan-based realtor who works with buyers, sellers, and investors. Please welcome Anthony Thomas. Anthony, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Dylan.
I always like to start off at the top, Anthony, by asking folks how they got into the real estate space.
Well, it's very, very funny how I got into it, how I got into real estate. I always loved the board game Monopoly. So,
That's
and I
right.
used to, and I loved it so much. It just kept me in, intrigued about well, owning property and selling and buying.
You know, for
Property.
me, I have a similar experience, not necessarily with Monopoly, but with the idea of real estate in general. And you can probably relate to this, Anthony, because I had done a Google search in 2023, which really reignited my passion about trying to get involved in real estate. I had a W-2 job, and in the Google search, it came back that uh, owning real estate was one of the biggest indicators of wealth and one of the best ways to build generational wealth. So I said, well, I don't know anybody in the real estate space. Didn't have any family or friends, but I got started actually working as an employee for a company. And here I am 2 years later, and I love real estate, licensed, have done about 20 deals as a wholesaler, and have made lots and lots of connections. Where was the starting point for you, Anthony? Did you get started as a realtor? Did you get started as an investor? What was your first entry point into the real estate space?
I was an investor. I, 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 I p- 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 I purchased a four unit family flat.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
In Detroit in 1997. That was my first, my first, my first investor, the deal.
As
After
an
that,
investor, not
no,
1997,
no, yes,
did you self-manage that property? Were you collecting rents yourself? Walk me through the management of that property.
I self managed it. Actually, I did all of the the rehab work. I never had done none of that in the past. None of it in the past, but I just took it on as a project, and it turned out great. I purchased it for about 70,000. I put about maybe 10,000 into it, and I was collecting $700 each.
That'll do it. That'll make me fall in love with real estate too in 1997 at that.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
when you saw the how successful that first deal was, 4 units, did you think, okay, I'm going to go out and buy as many of these 4 units as I can?
Well, no, because then I was, I was like, I was kind of cash, short draft after that. So I built up some get cash and a little equity, and I purchased a single family home after that. I had it for about for about eight about eight about 8 years. So it was it was pretty it was pretty good to me.
Did you know at that point in time, so you got the quadplex, you got the single family, did you know that you were down the line maybe gonna consider being a realtor, or was that not a thought in your mind at that point?
It wasn't even a thought. How it came up about was my wife wanted to do it. I didn't even want to want to be a a a a a a realtor. So she, I was going to send her to the class, and about a week before she actually went, she asked me to go to go as well. So I did, and I love it. It's one of the best decisions I ever made.
I wanna ask you about, that first year as an agent. Was the thought process that you were going to, pivot and really dive headfirst into working with buyers, working with sellers? Or were you thinking, "I'm an investor first, I wanna work with investors primarily?"
Well, I and it,
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
and initially I just did it to to actually save on the closing costs of our projects. So after that, a couple of my friends were actively looking, and I helped them out, and I fell in love with the first time home with the first time home buyers.
That
And
space in particular is so important. I had another guest I mentioned to you before hopping on here. I feel like we need as many people as possible in that first time home buyer space.
yes, because actually, when I realized was how much people didn't know about the buying process.
That's right. I mean, when I think about it, I can speak for myself. Before I was in the real estate space, everyone's first stop is where? It's to go look at a home or to go get in contact with a realtor. But the realtor is going to say you need funding, you need lending, right? You need financing. And so then it's like, well, how do I even get started in this? And especially if you're young and you may have good credit, but you don't have established credit, and then you've got to have you're looking at it, you're like, well, how am I going to get come up with however much percent of the total cost of the home? It can be so overwhelming. Um, in your experience, both as an investor and then working with first-time home buyers, what's one maybe nugget of gold you would tell folks if they are looking at uh, getting into their first home?
Educate yourself on the processes before hand, because people don't actually realize the decision to purchase a home. It begins about a year in advance. You have to have your finances and your credit in order, because if you
Huge undertaking. I mean,
right,
when people are looking at the aspects that can affect home ownership, one of the things they told us at our real estate school in Texas was, don't make any big purchases before you're closed on your home, and then even I think there might be even a grace period after that you or not a grace period, but a time period where you shouldn't make big purchases afterwards because you don't even think about it. You think, oh yeah, I just bought that furniture, but you financed the furniture,
right,
or you needed to have a bank balance in your bank, and now that's been affected by it. There's so many different things can come up, and especially now, post Dodd Frank, right, and the collapse of the 2008 time period, it is more regulated and more challenging for especially younger people to get into homes, and so everything can really have an impact on it. I do want to pivot a bit here, Anthony, and ask you about Detroit real estate. I'm someone who's worked with a lot of investors. There seems to be actually quite a bit of interest from out of state investors in Detroit. And I have never done a deal myself in Detroit, but I'd really like to. What's been your experience as an investor in Detroit?
everyone. It's a an influx of investors who did deal in Detroit. The Detroit market in real estate, as far as investing goes, it's affordable
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
And the costs are low, like to renovate. So a lot of them, a lot of them flock to this to to this market because it's uh higher rates of return on their investment.
It's a huge deal. I've heard this from investors who invest in Detroit. I can't verify it from my personal experience, not having done it myself, but I've heard that strategies that aren't necessarily viable in other markets are still very much viable in Detroit. And that oftentimes it's some of these areas which can sometimes be overlooked or not as popular. You'll still see a lot of uh, these more, I would say, traditional investing strategies working, like buying things at 70% of ARV minus repairs on the MLS, for instance. It'd probably be very difficult for me to find a lot of those deals in Dallas, which is where I lived at recently. But I was told from an investor that you can still sometimes run across those deals in Detroit. I do want to
Yeah.
ask you maybe a granular question about
Mhm.
investing in that area. Whenever you're in cities in general, there can be a lot of, I would say, trends you might see. You might see a lot of people investing in fix and flip, new construction, short term, Airbnb. But there's risks with all of that, right? With the short term, as a former resident of DFW, Dallas Fort Worth Metro, if you had an Airbnb in Dallas, I believe you can no longer do short term rentals shorter than 30 days. So anybody with that kind of strategy had to pivot. Do you see there being one strategy that you would recommend to maybe newer investors if they're looking for something to invest in Detroit?
I would, I would, I would just, subdue them to fix and flip because in Detroit, our tax rates are going high, so they're going up, and it's and if you do a buy and say and hold your taxes and insurance are those factors that it diminishes or reduces your rate of of return on on a long term uh uh on a long term uh rental.
That's interesting to hear because, I believe it. I've heard of this from multiple people. There's some strategy I can say for Texas, for instance. There's a lot of people who are drifting away from the fix and flip space because they've been burned or because they feel like it's more difficult to find the deals. They've bought too deep. But I've heard a lot of people tell me, more than just a handful, to look into Detroit, right? Metro Detroit area, because a lot of these strategies are very much viable and well. So this is yet another testament that I should be looking at deals in Detroit. Anthony, we are coming up on time here, though. Where can folks go if maybe they're in Michigan, maybe they're in Metro Detroit, or maybe they're outside of the state but would like to go and get in contact with you and maybe talk about a deal that they are interested in?
Well, my company name is Thomas Realty Solutions, LLC, and we're located in Detroit, Michigan. And our email is they can reach me at Anthony Thomas Realtor 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 one at gmail.com.
Anthony, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
Thank you, Dylan. I appreciate the invite.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.